I would like to talk to you for a few minutes about a plan to permanently eliminate involuntary unemployment, basically by having the government offer a job to everybody who is unemployed, who wants one. That's what job guarantees are all about. Now, before we start, I don't want to spend ages talking about monetary theory, which I've talked about lots of times before, as have many other people. But let's just remind ourselves that there is a magic money tree in Canberra, or there is a bottomless pit of dollars. In Canberra, our government, our federal government, that is, unlike the state government, unlike your business, unlike you and me, will never run out of Australian dollars. They don't even need to borrow Australian dollars. I'm not going to talk about the reasons why they actually do borrow Australian dollars at the moment, but they're never going to run out of money. Of course, that doesn't mean we want them to engage in limited spending, because if they spend too much, it's going to be inflationary. And moreover, if we were to go back to the 1960s approach of trying to maintain full employment, which was based on really just trying to grow the economy as quickly as we possibly could to absorb all the unemployed people, then we'd be more problems with our ecological constraints than we are already. The other point that I want to make is we shouldn't be scared of governments running fiscal deficits. The Australian government has run deficits about 80% of the time since Federation, and it's, for practical purposes, it's better to think of government deficits as non-government, or if we ignore the rest of the world for a moment, private sector surpluses. If we want Australian households to have strong balance sheets, to pay down debts, to save over time, well, somebody else has to do the borrowing in our financial system. And the institution which is best placed to do that borrowing, or at least to the next spending, is the Commonwealth Government. For what purpose should our government be engaging in net spending over time? Well, I'm going to be suggesting that we ought to be going back to a commitment which Australian governments had until the mid-1970s, post-Second World War, which was to meet Article 23.1 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. That states, as it says here, everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favourable conditions of work, and to protection against unemployment. Now, a question you might ask, and people often do ask these days, in the world of automation, where people imagine everything's going to be done for us in the future by robots, is this a right that's worth defending, or not? If it is, what's the best way of defending this right without ruining our ecosystem? And in any case, how well have we been doing in Australia over the last 30 or 40 years in terms of developing this right, given that we are one of the signatories to the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights? I am going to be talking about job guarantees, and I just wanted to get over to you the fact that there's no way you could possibly be aware of this unless you take a very active interest in this area of economics. There is a mounting range of research about job guarantees that's been done over the last, well, particularly the last 20 years. In Australia, in the US, and around the world. It's not a new idea. There are no, and there have been no, job guarantees of exactly the form I'd like to see in Australia in the past. But there have been many employment creation schemes which have had some of the characteristics of a job guarantee. So what you can see in the top left-hand corner there is people working in a cooperative venture in Argentina during the Plan Jefes, the Hogar a project which ran in Argentina middle part of the last decade, following their financial crisis of 2001. and which at one stage or another employed over 2 million people. 70% of the women, and played a major role during a very bad time in Argentina, helping to alleviate extreme poverty and reversing a long-term trend in Argentina to rising inequality as well. In the top right-hand corner, we have people working on rural cleanup. In the Indian government's Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which was introduced in 2004 and is still running today, and which has offered work to many millions of people over the last 30 years. And actually, when the new government, when it was the new government, when the BJP replaced the Congress Party, they wanted to remove this scheme, but it's too popular. They couldn't. Right. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have I forgot the name of this particular scheme now. In South Africa, there's a scheme which has about 500,000 people in it. It's something like expanded public works project scheme, but actually 1/3 of the people working in that scheme are working in social care. They're not all doing infrastructure projects around fields or anything. And of course, we've all heard of the New Deal during the 1930s, and I just wanted to make the point that everybody in the New Deal was building roads and infrastructure projects of one kind or another. There were thousands of people who were employed as part of the New Deal to produce art, or to do acting, or writing, or scientific research. As far as Australia is concerned, you often hear people talk about full employment and how great it is that we've got 5.5% as our official unemployment rate. And it's true that compared to a lot of countries around the world, that's a relatively low figure. However, if you were to compare it with the situation in Australia in the 1960s, when the unemployment rate was about 2%, in those days there was no underemployment, or next to no underemployment. There were not people who were part-time employed who wanted more hours but were unable to get. We now have about 8.5% of our labour force that this is true of. So when you add those two figures together, you get an underutilisation rate which is nearly 14%. And there are what we call marginally attached workers. People are not classified as unemployed or underemployed at all because they're not actively looking for work at the moment, and they're not immediately available to start work. They'd like to take employment if it was available to them. So in fact, our true unemployment rate in Australia is probably higher than 15, 16%, something like that. If you take the youth underutilisation rate, well, look what's happened to youth underutilisation in Australia since the 1970s. It's gradually increasing and increasing and increasing. The major disaster was the Keating recession. If we were to pick a point in time where the Australian labour market changed in a disastrous way that was not properly reversed later on. But there's a terrible long-run trend there. About a third of our young people are either unemployed or unable to get as much employment as they would like. And then, of course, we can look at regional unemployment in remote areas where unemployment figures are often well above that. We are not full employment in Australia. Why are we not at full employment? Well, there is this view that we can't afford to have unemployment go too low. There is this view that there's something called a non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. That's part of the orthodox approach to economics. That it is inevitably the case that if unemployment goes below 5 or 4.5 or 4%, then inflation will start rising. And so we need a buffer stock of unemployed labour. We need a reserve army of the unemployed, to go back to Karl Marx, in order to discipline workers who are in jobs, in order to keep labour costs under control and keep inflation down. Or another way of looking at it, if unemployment was to fall too low, and by the way, this data here is Australia post-1992. It's what economists would call the three-part Phillips curve. The empirical evidence is because a very wide range of levels of unemployment, changes in unemployment have little or no impact on inflation. There's no relationship there at all. If unemployment goes too low, there is the presumption inflation will start rising. When we have had mass unemployment, like in the early 1990s, it's shifted this horizontal section down as well, the inflation rate down. Now, even if we accept this is true, if you try and spend your way, 1960s style, pump economy, to lower unemployment, inflation will start to rise because after all, you're going to come up against skill shortages. We have that already. You're going to find that some parts of the economy, Sydney and Melbourne, go overheat, and costs are going to start rising there. You're going to find, with pump priming spending, it's being spent in the wrong places, on the wrong people, it's income going to people that don't need it, and those people that need the help are not going to get it anyway, they're going to stay unemployed. We want to change our institutions to replace a non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment with a non-accelerating inflation, what we're going to call the buffer employment ratio, where we replace a buffer stock of unemployed workers with a buffer stock of people who are fairly employed, with good working conditions, doing work which is of social value, which is rewarding for them, which is widely respected, and a wage which is significantly above today's minimum living wage as well. So that instead of these people being unemployed, and instead if it's necessary for the government to raise taxes to slow the economy down because of inflation, instead of people being forced into unemployment, they're able to join the job guarantee scheme, they're able to retain a non-poverty level of income and all the non-pecuniary benefits of employment, but we're still able to keep inflation low and moderate in the 2 to 3% range. What is our job guarantee going to look like? Well, let's talk about what it's not going to look like. The job guarantee is not compulsory. It's a right, it's not an obligation. It's not exploitative. I'm suggesting a wage of something like $24 an hour. It's not work for the dole. You are going to lose your welfare payments if you, well, decide not to participate in the scheme. It's not an alternative to welfare payments. It's not digging holes in the ground. Nobody who talks about it. It's basically insulting to imagine that people like Bill Mitchell in Australia and Pavilion Mayer in the US who spent years putting into tens of thousands of hours researching this issue. But the best I can come up with is suggest people do mindless work. Why do you get mindless work on work for the dole schemes? It's because work for the dole schemes are not there to benefit society or the unemployed person. They're there to punish the unemployed, and nobody cares what they do. It's not that we don't have work things to do. It's not a supply of cheap labour for private employers will play no role. In the scheme, it's not communism. We might end up spending 3% of our GDP on it. The other 97% of our GDP would not be spent. It doesn't have to be a bureaucratic nightmare. If you can have tens of millions of people working in a project in India and they can manage to run that over time without it being an irredeemable bureaucratic nightmare, there's no reason why we can't have an employment guarantee in Australia. It's not an alternative to a basic income. The universal basic income is another argument. You can have both. Or you can have neither, or you can have one. It's not supposed to be a crisis measure. We want it permanent. We want to eliminate involuntary unemployment forever. It's not unaffordable for reasons I was just talking about. What it is, it's an opportunity to work somewhere between 1 and how many hours you want to work a week with a fair wage and good working conditions. It's an approach to the government budget which implies that money is spent not with a lamp, but when it is needed, on who needs the help, and in those parts of the country where money needs to be spent. I've already said it replaces a buffer stock of the unemployed with a buffer stock of employed labour. It's counter-cyclical in that, in a recession, the job guarantee scheme will naturally expand. When the economy is booming, people will transition out of the job guarantee back into higher paid work in the private sector and will shrink. It can divorce full employment from a commitment to growing real GDP. We have enough real GDP already. if we were to address distributional issues to more local employment. It can extend the scope of activities deemed worthy of pay. For example, people who are carers can be designated part of a job guarantee scheme. After all, they are doing work of social value and they can be paid as such. It sets minimum acceptable labour standards and it deliberately makes life difficult for low-wage employers with poor labour standards because it gives workers a choice. What should the wage rate be? Well, I've looked at the equivalent of our legal minimum wage now, stretching back to the 1960s, and I've looked at what's happened to real GDP per hour work since then. Real GDP per hour work since the end of the 1960s has gone up by about 80%. As far as our real minimum wage is concerned, it's gone nowhere. Minimum wage workers are no better off now in real terms once you take inflation into account than they were 30, 40, 50 years ago. They've not shared in all the technological change and productivity improvements that have taken place. In order to give them back their due, millions of people, there are a couple of million people, almost, I think it's 1.8 million, who are in minimum wage jobs. They should be on not $18.29 an hour, but at least $24. That's just taking us back to the late 60s, that's all. This is a full-time wage of over $40,000. I didn't want to write it down, it's about $44,000. That seems a bit much, doesn't it? Or maybe for a job guarantee. Like I said, there's no reason you can't have an unconditional basic income if you want. That's another issue. What we ought to be aware of is that Australia now, and this is using a statistic to do with inequality, which is this particular database that I've referred to here is international comparable figures. So what can we see here? We can see that Australia and the US have grown a great deal more unequal since 1980. We can see that Australia is now more unequal than the US was in the 70s. Australia is no longer one of the countries with lower inequality. It's now one of the countries which has relatively high inequality amongst high-income countries. This needs to be reversed. You can see that inequality can be reversed. That's when Argentina introduced the job guarantee. Admittedly, they scrapped it after about 5 years and gone back to what's turned out to be what looks like an unsustainable welfare-based approach. And you can see that inequality didn't have to increase in the first place. That's technological change. Rising inequality is inevitable. No, there are plenty of countries like Denmark where it never happened. Have Australians been getting happier over time? I've spliced together some series. I haven't put the scale on the vertical axis because they're measured in different ways, but they're based on just asking people how happy they are with their life, or how satisfied they are with their life. And the general view is that across the 80s and 90s, Australians got significantly less happy. And they haven't got more happy since then. Does it make you happier to have a higher real GDP? Well, it does if your income is lower than about Spain. I can give you all the 150 odd countries in the Gallup World Poll, you would see a positive relationship. But for the about 30 countries that are richer than Spain, there is no relationship between subjective well-being and GDP per person. And what's more, I could have shown you other countries here where their incomes have risen considerably over time and how happy people have told me they are, as either go the same or forward. On the other hand, to take a recent piece of work which Bill Mitchell referred to on these blog sites only the other week, if you ask the employed and the unemployed, and this is based on the entire Gallup World Survey, which covers countries which equate to 98% of the world's population. On average, employed people are happier than unemployed people. They smile more, they frown less, they're under stress less around the world. This is based on a large panel of data related to Germany, and these lines show you what happens to people's reported well-being in terms of their life satisfaction when they become unemployed and if they remain unemployed. So when we're looking at permanent unemployment, it turns out that both men and women become significantly less happy once you've adjusted for it. This has nothing to do with the real income. And it has a bigger impact on men on average than women, but there is no evidence that they adjust to this over time. This is one of the few negative life events which has a permanent impact on people's well-being. When it happens temporarily, it also has a permanent impact on people's well-being. Once you lose your job, on average, if you then get another job quickly, on average, it's the same German panel that we're looking at here, just another piece of work. And people do recover somewhat in terms of how they feel about their life, but the experience of losing your job has a permanent impact on your well-being. The what's on the right-hand side is some relatively recent research to do with the General Social Survey in the US, saying just the same thing. I could spend all night going through research done by sociologists, psychologists, economists, and they pretty much all agree. Unemployment has a devastating impact on subjective well-being. You can take all the countries in the Gallup World Poll, and you can look at their average life evaluation scores with unemployment rate, and you find there is an inverse relationship, as you'd expect, and this is despite the fact that in some regions of the world, like a lot of Asia, this relationship doesn't exist because of the very poor quality of employment. But there's a relationship across the whole world. So the evidence, and just like people say about climate change, we're going to risk train this is not something open to dispute. There is virtually no disagreement. There are major non-pecuniary costs to unemployment. One study I didn't list here, by an economist called Blanche Flower, nearly 20 years ago, estimated that in the US, in order to compensate somebody who lost their job for the loss of their job, you would need to not just restore their previous level of income, you would need to pay them $60,000 a year on top of that to restore the same level of well-being they had before. And this was really 20 years ago. Because self-respect, social status, having a purpose, routine, social interaction, and particularly, we know the sorts of things we need to build into jobs in order that they make a positive contribution to people's lives. Variety, autonomy, good feedback, learning. They're all important contributors to well-being from paid employment. They have been for centuries now. And whereas one day, perhaps, people will adjust, as many people like to think will be easy, to not having to go to work, just receiving an income being consumption machines. If you like being creative, I remember my granddad, who when he was in his 70s couldn't think of anything to do, so he took a job as a cleaner. Again, even though he didn't need the money. It's just not the way most people are. Not at the moment. Maybe 20, 30, 50 years later. Unemployment is linked to, there's overwhelming evidence it's linked to mental illness. The evidence on physical illness is a little bit less overwhelming. There was an article in The Lancet earlier this year estimating the number of thousands of deaths each year directly related to the experience of unemployment. And about 1 in every 5 suicides around the world have been tied to the experience of unemployment. Putting it very unscientifically, but this is basically what I'm saying. If you lose your job, if you've got some sort of income replacement, so you're not destitute, sure, a loss of income is going to make you less happy, but people tend to adjust to lower levels of income over time. If you lose your job and remain long-term unemployed, any adjustment to that in terms of your well-being is marginal, if it exists at all. Are we running out of jobs? No, neither will we. Not until we run out of useful things that people can do for other people, and if that ever happens, then God help our species. A job guarantee in Australia would be mainly service-based. There's been a lot of research relating to exactly what services. I won't go through all of them now. They could include people who are in full-time training, so you could be paid, for example, to be trained to meet some of the skill shortages that we currently have in Australia as part of the job guarantee. But although it would be funded centrally, the administration and the precise nature of the job guarantee would vary from region to region. That's the idea. Administration would be locally maintained local. Local authorities would set up job banks, providing a variety of opportunities for people to work. People could work in not-for-profits. Now, I used to do voluntary work when I had the time for the Brain Injury Network of South Australia. Given the choice, I'd be quite happy to give up teaching at the university. Maybe at some point in the future go back to doing that again. It's a very, very good thing to do. Do I think I could use a living paid for it? Yes, I do, actually. And artists and writers could be included. Is it possible to do that? Well, why is it possible in the 1930s in the US if we can't do it, getting them for 100 years later? That's stupid. And startup cooperatives could be supported like they were in Argentina, particularly in some parts of the country where they were competing with other businesses. And again, in Argentina, individuals and groups were invited to make suggestions about socially useful activities they could engage in, where their success in those activities could be monitored over time, and where they could be paid as part of the job guarantee. Would it be affordable? Yes. It's been costed sometimes very simply, sometimes using complex econometric models. The gross cost would probably be well below 5% of GDP. The net cost, because these people would be paying taxes and not claiming, in many cases, other welfare payments, would be significantly less than this. But really, it doesn't matter. We're not going to know that. And I don't want to spend time, because we have only a small amount of time, on thinking about unconditional payments and job guarantee payments, but I did do a survey of 238 undergraduates and just asked them roughly how much would they be prepared to pay people working in the sort of job guarantee that I've just been describing, and what sort of unconditional payment would they be prepared to make. They were very ungenerous. Scrooge-like, where unconditional payments were concerned. They were offering them rather below what people get at the moment as a new start allowance, which you can't do. In the last minute or so, let me just mention 3 job guarantee-like schemes. The plan, it was originally Jefes de Hogar in Argentina. It was flooded with women who wanted to work in it. We'd not been in the labour force before, so they had to change the name. Launched in 2001, when official unemployment was over 20%. At its peak, it included 13% of the labour force, 5% of the population of the country, 2 million people. It was phased out in 2005 because the economy was improving, and also, regrettably, because Argentina, even when it's had a female president, has been very male-dominated. And the establishment did not like the fact that this scheme was transforming the role of women in rural societies. It was very unpopular when it was phased out. Many of the women who were working in the scheme continued to do the same tasks for nothing when they were being paid welfare. Okay. India's Rural Employment Guarantee. In 2009-2010, employment was offered to people from 53 million households in India. I'll show you a picture of people working in that scheme earlier. South Africa's expanded public works program since 2004. Well, the problem with all these schemes is that access to them hasn't been automatic. They've not paid a high enough wage to alleviate poverty. And then in the case of South Africa's scheme, you have to apply for a place in the scheme. There's 30% unemployment in South Africa and 500,000 people as a job. What else? worked over time. In Australia, the government has a bigger role in the US, and non-profit organisations do. This year, a job guarantee proposal passed the majority of the European Parliament. It won't happen because it's been blocked by the Council of Ministers and the European Commission. A job guarantee. It's not supposed to be a last resort. It's not necessarily a transition job. It's something you might want to continue doing as time goes by. Secure employment, fair remuneration and working conditions, flexibility on working hours, respect from being in employment, participating in social provisioning, not being separated out into another group from those who are employed, who are treated as though there is something wrong with you. And it's most important that the jobs within such a scheme have clear social value. Okay, well I've rather rushed through.